So, wrapping up December 2023 with the last few alignments, all of them I think are equally as important. We're talking progression and spiritual warfare in December, but there were so many different alignments. I kind of wanted to break it down a little to make it easier to digest. Um, And so we have on the 13th of December, we have Mercury going retrograde in Capricorn. Mercury, of course, our communication, how we think, how we process. Um, it's retrograde. It's going first off. It started off in Capricorn on the 1st, and then it goes retrograde. And so we have we ask ourselves, is it okay? We tell ourselves that it's okay to pause and create this solid plan, right? Because we were also talking in Neptune direct in Pisces, we're also looking at like reviewing that progression that we have supposedly made, right? And then Mercury and Capricorn on the 1st is us learning how to create these new foundations. Well, then Mercury goes, it transits into Sagittarius while it's in retrograde. And that happens on the 23rd. So Mercury is kind of lingering in retrograde pretty much throughout the month of December for a little while. And that Mercury in Sag retrograde, it's like pause your mouth. You don't have to say everything that you think. We kind of suffer from TMI in society. So it's like you really don't have to comment on every single thing. We really don't have to make everything a thing. Um, so I want us to think a little bit about some of this Capricorn energy that is happening in December, because it is us like learning these new lessons and setting these new foundations. The sun moves into Capricorn on the 21st at 10:27 p.m. That is our winter solstice. And I would ask, what are you focused on this season? What dreams do you have that are incubating? What seeds have you planted? What things do you expect to sprout when the springtime comes? On the 26th, we have the full moon in Cancer, and we talked about that in the lunar clip, where we talked about the new moon in Sag and the full moon in Cancer. On the 26th, Chiron, the wounded healer, also goes direct in Aries. This is going to be a great time to take charge of your healing. I also say burn something down and start over. But don't go burning anything recklessly. Really, really get rid of the stuff that you said you were going to get rid of and you never did. Go ahead and really get rid of it. And get rid of it to the point where you won't circle back and think that you need to go back there. Because if we're creating new foundations, why you keep going back to the old stuff? You go back because you're addicted to nostalgia. You're addicted to that high, that rush that you get when there's drama. On the 29th, Venus is in Sagittarius. It reminds us that passion isn't wrong. It's actually a good thing. But make sure that you understand what is fleeting and what is long term, because we really need to start getting to a point where our relationships have some type of depth. Earlier that month, Venus, earlier in December on the 4th, Venus moves into Scorpio. That is depth of passion and making sure that we don't like give into that desire for revenge because we feel something so deeply and we take everything so seriously. Venus in Sag is a little bit more lighthearted with that fire energy. And so we're going to make sure that it's like, you know what, if it's a little something to do, leave it in the category of a little something to do. Like, let's not make it VIP. Let's not turn it into a marriage. Let's just enjoy it for the time it is. Let it be a fling. Learn something from that. Expand from that. Um, and then on the 30th, we have Jupiter going direct in Taurus. Jupiter is our optimistic nature. It's how we use the resources from the lesson and the knowledge from the lessons that we've learned. And I would ask, are you clear on your personal power? It's a good time to go big, but with realistic steps. Understanding that you can be risky and realistic. Like, being risky doesn't mean that you didn't pay attention to what is in front of you. It just means that you are open to flying. You're open to creating something new. It doesn't mean that you have to just be out here doing whatever, whenever. So we're doing a lot of breaking down illusions this month and like really creating and solidifying plans. It's like, if you said that this is what you were going to do, go ahead and do it. We're going to get rid of the distractions, get rid of all the things that don't work for us, the things that we know clearly over and over again, they don't work. We're going to get rid of them. We're going to create that solid plan. We're going to use our discernment through all of this. We're not just out here just doing whatever. We're plugged in intuitively. We are paying attention to our dreams. We're paying attention to our mouth. We're not talking out of turn and then calling it, freedom of speech. We're not talking recklessly and using semantics and then saying that we're teaching. We're paying attention with discernment to those who are anointed and appointed divinely to teach and to lead. We're paying attention there. We're not giving our attention to the frivolous or to anybody who just kind of steps up and says, "Oh, I want the podium, I want the spotlight." We've given enough. We've given ignorance and ridiculousness so much of our heart space and our mind space and our time. We've given ridiculousness and idiocy way more burn than they should have ever gotten. And we're behind. That progression that we were supposed to have, I mean, it's like baby steps, and baby steps are important, but we should have been a little bit further than this. But things are continuing to unravel in society. There are certain systems that continue to fall down, and all of that's good stuff. But we have to understand that when things come undone and things fall apart, we can't go back and put back into place something similar and then have to go through the whole cycle all over again. So make sure you listen to all 3 parts for December energy. Our prayer for December is, God, thank you for helping me to see through the illusions.